Hello, Kumar Bandyo, Excel Martial Arts, and today we're going to talk about mouth guards and how to mold them for your mouth, either for your child or for yourself. So first of all, a little bit about mouth guards. So mouth guards are mandatory PPE, personal protective equipment, in Excel Martial Arts. So you must wear them at all times when you are sparring and grappling. And this includes in class and also especially at the tournament. So you will not be able to compete at an EMA tournament without your personal protective equipment, which includes the mouth guard. So first, let's talk a little bit about mouth guards. There's different kinds of mouth guards. I'm going to show you a couple of mine. If you take a look, I'm holding up one of them right here, and it looks kind of like a perfect imprint of my mouth and even my teeth in my upper mouth. If you take a look at this one, again, very deep teeth imprints. Quite often I've seen at tournaments, children come with mouth guards that basically look like a brand new mouth guard. And that is a choking hazard for a child. So if they put this in the mouth, it's just floating around in their mouth. It needs to have a deep dental impression in order for it to be stuck in their mouth. So that's very, very important. So there are different kinds of mouth guards. The kind that we allow in Excel Martial Arts are called boil and bite. That means you have to boil them, and it can't be just hot tap water. It's got to be boiling water, and you pull it out and then you put it in your mouth or your child's mouth, and they form that dental impression. So that's the most common. These are Shock Doctor, made by Under Armour. Okay? This is one called Safe Jaws. They all look pretty much the same. This is kind of odd looking, but when you put this in hot water, it gets very floppy, and you mold this around your upper teeth. And then these are for braces. These are the only mouth guards we allow in EMA that don't require molding. And I'll talk a little bit more about those when I actually put these in my mouth. So if you look at this mouth guard, this is mine. I've used this for a good 15 or 20 years. Your child, though, might need to remold or get a new mouth guard every 6 to 12 months, because as their mouth grows, as they lose teeth, get adult teeth, they're going to need a new mouth guard. So when I put this in, you'll see it's not very easy to talk, but it's stuck there. It's not going anywhere. And I don't need to hold it up into my mouth with my tongue at all. It's there, and it protects the whole upper layer of my mouth. And when I bite down, then I breathe through my nose to protect my lower teeth as well. Here's another one. Stick it in. So when I bite down, it stays in place. It's not moving around at all. And you see it takes effort to get it out. When a mouth guard is in, I'm just going to put this unmolded one in my mouth. First of all, it doesn't fit, okay, because it's so narrow, and it's just going to float around in your mouth. You'll see, especially if you watch hockey players holding their mouth guards in the edges of their mouth like this, okay? That's unacceptable. You can't have a mouth guard hanging out of your mouth. It needs to be in your mouth at all times when you're doing any sort of sparring or grappling drills, and also, especially when you're at tournaments. So it needs to be in your mouth. And that will be an equipment check before you're allowed to compete at the tournament. Now, a few little tips and tricks about the care of your mouth guard after it's molded is, I recommend, if it comes in a case, keep it in the case. And after class, your child's just going to put it in this case. But now that has their spit and saliva and germs on it. So after sparring day, day B, grappling day, you're going to want to take that out and rinse that under water. And what I like to do is I brush my mouth guard with toothpaste. So toothpaste on there, brush it, right? Nice and clean, let it air dry, and then put it back in a clean case. And then when they put it in their mouth next time, it's got a nice minty flavor, which actually creates a little bit of saliva, so it moistens their mouth. And what I used to do in my competition days is I would spray it with a little Banaka, that mouth freshener, which actually creates even more saliva. So when I'm sparring, I actually have a little bit more moisture in my mouth, because children often have a dry mouth when they're sparring because they're a little bit nervous. So it's very important that this is stored in their gear bag, because every day that they're sparring or grappling in their training center, they need to be wearing this, because accidents can happen anywhere. Even during a drill that's not an actual sparring match, if I'm in a sparring class and I'm doing a drill with a partner and they accidentally tag me in the face, this is going to protect my teeth. Now, what does the Mouthguard actually do? It protects the teeth, of course, but it protects against tongue lacerations, jaw injury, but contrary to popular belief, it's not going to do anything for concussions. That's why we have different safety protocol to manage concussions and lower the incidence of concussions in EMA. Like, we don't allow aggressive attacks to the head or vicious spinning kicks to the head because that's more likely to cause a concussion. This is not going to protect against concussions. Okay? So we want to wear this at all times in the training center and at tournaments. Now I'm going to go over here to the braces one, and if you can zoom in on that, you'll see it looks a little bit different on the upper and lower. And this isn't molded, it's very soft, and there's breathing holes there because it covers the upper and the lower teeth. So when I put this in, no, I can't talk. I can't talk because I need to keep my mouth closed over it at all times. Okay? This is a stopgap which allows people with braces to wear a mouth guard, but it's not molded like these. They have to keep their mouth closed and breathe through the little breathing holes at all times. So, in place, stuck. Okay? And then this is just an example of another one. Okay, and I bought this on Amazon. And now I breathe through the holes in there. Okay? I purchased all of these on Amazon. Your training center might carry them. Most sporting goods stores will carry these mouth guards. And you want to update it regularly as your child grows. And once it's molded, what you can do is customize it a little bit more for yourself with a pair of scissors. So if you find that it's too big for your child, you can actually trim the ends off. If it's going too far back into their mouth, you can trim off the ends. And if you look at that, this little piece, it doesn't bother me, but it may bother your child. You could trim that piece off, put it in the water again, remold it, and then that'll fit into the mouth a little bit better. So once you've molded a mouth guard, usually you can mold it, these boil and bites, a couple of times until you find that perfect fit. Now, how to actually do it. I've got a pot of boiling water. It's on a rapid boil, okay? I've got a bowl of ice water. I've got a slotted spoon. You need to follow the instructions of your mouth guard, okay? This one says to keep in the hot water for 75 seconds. This one says 60 seconds. This one says 45. That one's 20 seconds. So you need to follow those instructions because you don't want the mouth guard to start to deteriorate or shrink. You've kept it in the water too long. So it's in the water for the set amount of time, which is in your instructions. You pull it off the water or off the stove, okay? And then you pull it out and you just dip it in cold water for just 1 or 2 seconds. Put it out and then put it in your child's mouth, okay? And once it's in your child's mouth, this is the most important thing in molding the guards, is that they must now suck hard and put their tongue to the roof of their mouth and press all the way around, and you probably will need to do this, is press their upper gums into their face, okay, so that it forms a firm impression. And when they put it in their mouth, they bite down hard to create teeth imprints here and also in here. And then you notice when I did it, I was sucking hard. I spread this rubber part all the way to here because I was pressing my tongue to the roof of my mouth. Okay? So they put it in the mouth and they do that hard sucking motion, press the gums together, keep pressing the tongue to the roof of the mouth, and then keep it there anywhere from 30 seconds up to a minute. You need to follow the instructions of your mouth guard. It may be different for different mouth guards. Then you take it out and you put it in cold water for about 30 seconds to a minute, and that sets the mouth guard. Then you take it out and you test it in your child. When you test it in your child, it needs to be in place and it can't be wobbly around. So if they talk and it starts flopping down, they haven't created enough of a dental impression in their mouth guard. Okay? And that is it for video 1. In video 2, we're actually going to physically do a couple of these and you're going to see me do it in action.